Coaches have coaches, and my coach shifted me last week in LA. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about what that meant, how that happened, and where I'm going next. Hello, lovely dynamic woman, and welcome to the Dynamic Woman podcast. I am Diane Rolston, your host. And today I'm going to talk about how my coach shifted me last week. I feel like a little bit of a new person right now. And a little bit like finally I'm coming into this place that I really want to be. It's not to say that like the past few years, the past 12 years is not where I wanted to be, but there's been a new place. And, I had a episode called The Change is Coming. And the really funny thing is that in doing that, it's like I'm feeling like the change is coming. I just haven't been able to put my finger on exactly what it is. And for me, who is A-type driven, highly functioning, like this has been so frustrating, so annoying to not be able to pinpoint what it is. I've had sessions with other coaches, and I just haven't hit the nail on the head. It's been annoying, really annoying. And so when I went into this 2-day mastermind in LA, I was really looking for what I thought I was looking for was some clarity on my 2024 strategy with my current offerings. Like, how am I going to market them? How am I going to lay them out? How am I going to position them from a marketing standpoint, from a strategic standpoint? I wasn't looking for a personal shift, but it had to happen. So while I said, the change is coming, it is coming. The change is feeling like it's seriously been happening since 2019. So it was before COVID that like I felt off in a way that like I am shifting, but I didn't know what that meant yet, that I'm changing, that there's this new thing to bring forth, but without the clarity of what it actually was, I struggled. So this client, when she listened to the podcast episode of The Change is Coming, she was so excited, and we'll make sure I link it here as well. She was so excited because as a client of mine, a one-on-one client, she wanted to get like the behind the scenes scoop, what was really happening, what was I alluding to? But the funny thing is I didn't have the clarity. And a lot of the work I do with my clients is around 3 phases: clarity, confidence, and action. You need clarity on what you're wanting, clarity about what that looks like. Then when you say, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it, then you start to build that confidence, right? And with the support of me as your coach, then that helps you. And then when you start to get into action, the confidence boosts even more, the clarity comes in even more. And when you're in action, it's exciting, it's great, you're moving forward towards your goal. But I couldn't get into the confidence and action piece because the clarity was lacking. And I've been looking for it since 2019. And I believe that it was unlocked this past weekend. So I knew there was something bigger for me, but I was really frustrated. Like I couldn't find it and I couldn't put into words. And it all comes from this place around really like in working with high achieving women, high level women, dynamic women, and realizing that they're not happy. They're not where they want to be. And partially true for me and many times in my life as well. It was like there was like I had a sore and a Band-Aid was still hanging on. And I don't want that to be gross and graphic, but it's painful when you still have a sore, when you still have a Band-Aid stuck to it, right? And so what I needed the Band-Aid to just be ripped off. And I couldn't do it myself. It was like that slow trying to take it off, and it hurt. And it's been hurting for a long time. And so I feel that my coach just ripped that friggin' Band-Aid off last weekend. I've been talking about the past, talking about, COVID, and talking about, my Facebook page was deactivated, and I had to pivot with my business, and my kids were home, my father died, like all this crazy stuff happened. but I've been hanging on to the past. And it's not serving, it wasn't serving me. I'm not doing that anymore. It wasn't serving me. Now, you may look at my life, look at my business and say, but you started a whole new area of your business. You started VA Made Easy. That's super successful. You have a team of 16 virtual assistants now. You're doing all these amazing things. You just got interviewed by Jack Canfield. Like, how were you sucking or holding on to the past? Now, I still, well, yes, I was doing a lot of great things, but you ever have that like inkling that something's not where it needs to be, that you're not exactly in a position where you are the happiest or it's meant to be? I keep having these visions and these feelings that there is something different, but I couldn't pinpoint it until she called me out. Until she said, Diane, I think you want to go back into life coaching. Now, this also may be shocking to you because you may be like, well, you've always been in life coaching. But actually what happened was in my journey of being a coach, so I'm a certified coach. I have the kind of like the second level. I could qualify for the third level, but I don't feel like challenging the exam or going through that whole process to prepare. So I am a high level coach, and I've been doing this for over 12 years. And in the beginning, I was only life coaching, solely life coaching. But once I started to build my coaching practice, then my speaking business, then my like programs, my women's community, my books, my podcast, and so much, like every little piece, people came to me and said, Diane, how did you do that? Can you teach me how to do that? Can you show me? Can you guide me? Can you coach me? And I said, yes, yes, yes. And I always follow the excitement and follow the energy. And I was totally in alignment with those, using my core competencies of teaching and guiding and problem solving and creativity and strategy and showing things in another way. So they was all great. But what I realized, I've been doing kind of, I'd say of the 12 years that I've been coaching, probably the last 8 have been 90% business strategy consulting and coaching, more so than just the life or women's empowerment and such. And it's not to say that's bad. And I love working with my clients. I have this desire to do more in the life coaching world again, do more in women's empowerment. But I couldn't figure out like, what is my unique positioning statement on this? I'm not going to tell you right now what I think it might be, because it's still brewing, right? It's like if you made a soup or a stew or a chili or a curry, you could eat it right away, but it really needs to sit and bubble and boil on the stove so that everything can kind of meld together, all the flavors. And that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm melding all the flavors together. And I'm trying it on like an outfit, like the new shoes, the new jeans, the new jacket, whatever it may be. I'm putting it on to see how it feels. So I'm in that place right now. And one thing that was really funny is when we started talking about the pillars of my brand, and I said, okay, it's about soul satisfaction, about being a dynamic woman. And the third pillar would be VA services. And my coach looked at me and she said, Diane, we just got you into the sparkly shoes. You got to get out of the work boots. And that's true. I've been putting on the work boots for so long, probably 8 years, like I said. Now the work boots meaning like the analytical, the in my head, the strategy, the masculine, all this. And I want to be wearing some sparkly shoes, meaning I want to be in a place that feels more life-giving, energetic, that I have this like soul calling. And over those 2 days, I cried a bunch of times. I'll share that with you. And like, also the fact is I have a coach. Why? Because there's always work to be done. And for me to be able to serve my clients well, I actually have a few coaches. I have this business and marketing coach who also will give me a good butt kick in here and there. I have a speaker business coach. So not actually like how to talk and tell stories and all that, but how to have a business in speaking. I also have like a business foundations coach, a business advisor that helps me on things like organizing my business, how to basically business foundations. Let's go back to that, like contracts, agreements, HR stuff, all the things that I don't find fun. She's super helpful. I also have a counselor that I do for my personal life. I also talk to the women's pastor at my church to help with my spiritual life. I have a health coach now, as you've heard. And then there's other people here and there that I, tap into in order to get some coaching, get some support. So I love what Oprah said around, when I became successful, I didn't stop having a coach. I just had more of them. And that's what I had. And so me going into this mastermind for 2 days, wanting to have certain outcomes, that's the analytical brain, and realizing I just need to have this personal shift. And I said to her on the day 2, she said, what do you want to get out of today? I said, oh, this would be good. This would be good. This would be good. All these things to do. But I said, but if today is just about completing the shift in me, away, like ripping off that Band-Aid, away from being in the work boots, moving into being in the sparkly shoes. And I'm good with that. If that's what today is meant to be, then I am good with that. And from there, I went to be interviewed by Jack Canfield, and there were a few other people I knew who were there as well. And they said, there's something different about you. And I said, oh, well, I've lost now over like 32 pounds. And they said, no, there's something different about your energy. And then I was talking about some of the things about getting out of the work boots, about helping this like prideful woman who's been tamed, like helping her be wild again. And they were like, wow, I've never heard this kind of stuff out of you. So I'm going to kind of wrap up here. And I'm more so today than in other days, really going off the cuff with this. But I just wanted to share where I'm at, because if you've been listening to these episodes, first and foremost, thank you for listening. Thank you so much. One of you incredible listeners, Janice, sent me a card acknowledging what I had shared in another episode. And so I feel like we have this relationship, and maybe it's one-sided because I'm talking what could seem at you. I'm talking to you. I hope you understand. But I want you to know that it's not perfection when you have success. It is not going to stay consistently that you're on top of it and you understand everything and it's every single change is easy, because it's not. And sometimes you just don't have the clarity and it's frustrating, but stick with it. Get the help. Like Les Brown said, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. And I knew that I am in this frame. And so many times with coaches, it's kind of like the answer is right in front of my face, right in front of my face. And I'm saying, oh, is it over here? Is it over here? I just want to know what it is. And when people point it out to you, because they can see it clearly, because they see the full picture, like my coach did, you have the opportunity to be called forth. It is such a blessing to have these kind of aha moments, to have someone care about you enough to speak the hard truth and to pull you where you need to be. I felt like I had that Band-Aid ripped off. I felt like I was called out of almost out of like the darkness, called out of this lack. It's kind of like a lack of energy place, and I was reignited. And I've had many times in my life where the spark kind of got extinguished, and I had to find a new spark, or I had to reignite it. And what's cool about this situation is I've just been reminded about the spark I had for coaching women, high-level women, to feel enough, to be happy in their lives, to stop just pushing for more, and to actually be in a place where they can be successful and fulfilled and satisfied. This has been ignited in me. This has been reopened for me. And I've been given complete permission to step fully into this. So as I figure this out, make it a really good, tasty chili type of thing. You're going to get more pieces of this. I'm working on a new signature program. I'm really pumped about it. It's going to be coming out real soon because I'm on fire about this. So stay tuned. If you're not on my email list, make sure you are. We'll make sure that the link is in the notes. And now would be the greatest time for you to subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything from this platform, any of these episodes that I'm putting out. And also share with a friend who you think could use this message. And I haven't heard from a lot of you in a while, so a review would be amazing. And when you do a review of this, please send a screenshot to team@dianerolston.com of the review with your mailing address so I can send you a little something special in the mail. Until next time, everyone, stay dynamic. Bye.